This fucking guy. I noticed when I was queuing up this episode that this was directed by Jack Bender. And so I looked, I obviously knew who Jack Bender was because he directed The Lost Pilot. He's been a fucking TV director for a long time. He's like 71 years old now, right? He'd been directing shit since the 80s, I think. Maybe even sooner than that. He's directed a lot of shit, man. Like, I looked him up and I saw that he had directed like 4 episodes of Sopranos. And the last episode of which he directed was in 2006. So I suspect this was his last episode directing Sopranos. And this was 2 years after he directed The Lost Pilot, which I think is probably still one of the. It's definitely my top 10 favorite pilot episodes in TV series history. I just think it's really interesting because I never knew he directed Sopranos. I'm sure that their fucking list of directors. There's so much I'm going to delve into when I'm done with the series. Just the people behind the scenes, you know. I'm sure their list of directors were just a mile long. As far as probably a lot of them would be names I know. One other thing I want to talk about real quick was that, you know, the idea of Tony being in a coma, and I suspect he'll still be in a coma in this episode. I feel like the ending of the last episode pretty much foreshadowed that he's going to stay in a coma for a while. And they're going to explore more of this life, this alternate reality with him. And I feel a lot of people are frustrated with that. They feel like it doesn't count, or, you know, it doesn't mean anything. But the fact that they're also including scenes with the family and everybody, the family in both senses of the word, reacting to him being in danger, is that makes it so much more meaningful. These episodes are crucial for that because you can't. The best way to see how characters feel about each other and the roles that they have in each other's lives is one of them be in mortal danger like this. I know it's a big TV cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. You know, I've told you many times about my friend from New Jersey. Well, I just found out today she has COVID. And fortunately, she had already taken both vaccine shots. And, so the doctor had told her, like, that probably, it was like she got symptoms right before taking the second shot. And so it's with that nether zone. It's one of these situations where, like, you had the first shot. So probably by the time you get the first shot, even if you catch it, it's not going to kill you. It's just, So, and then you won't build up enough of a viral load to really do, like, serious damage, right? But still, she has lung issues. She's always been, had a poor immune system her whole life. So, you're still worried and everything. But, most likely she'll never even get serious symptoms. So it's not that. But that kind of news makes you reevaluate when you hear something like this. Somebody has cancer, they caught COVID. It makes you think about, okay, this is the role this person has in my life. And what would it be like if they're no longer here? How would I meet those needs and whatever needs are being filled, right? And I think every character has to confront that, and maybe this just hearing about my friend kind of reminded me of, like, that's the real purpose of these scenes in TV shows. Some TV shows just don't execute it very well. It's what they're trying to do. They don't execute it. For instance, the role that Tony has in AJ's life is the strong person who's, like, always strong 100% of the time, is always going to be there. It's always going to be reliable. Bringing it back to my personal life for a minute. When Dad was alive, he had the same phone number for 35 years. And anytime I called, he always answered the phone. He was never away from the house very much. Obviously he had a job, right? So, like, if I called during work hours, he wouldn't answer. But, like, anytime after, like, say, from 6 p.m. to midnight, if I called, he would fucking answer. On weekends, if I called anytime day or night, like on weekends, he would answer the phone. He was Mr. Reliable. He would always answer the phone. I almost never got a fucking voicemail from him. I had to leave a voicemail. And so there's a security in that. There's no one, like, for instance, if my car breaks down, I can call somebody and they can come pick me up. I don't have that now. Like, I've lost that. There's nobody I can pick up the phone and call and I know they're going to answer no matter what time. There's nobody like that. That's something that is now missing from my life forever. And AJ had that kind of security with Tony. Like, it probably felt like Tony was just, he would never falter. Like, he'd never seen Tony lose a fight. Now Tony has lost a few fights on here, like, not physical fights, but he's lost some of these, like, gangster fights. He had to shoot his own fucking cousin. That he lost that fight, right? But AJ hasn't seen that. AJ's never seen him lose a fight. And so this is essentially Tony losing a fight right now. And so he doesn't know what to do with that. He doesn't know how to process. It's like completely tilted his worldview. And Meadow, like, she's kind of controlling, and so this is something she can't control. And also, they seem to be closer these days than they were in, like, in some of the early seasons, And then Carmela. You know, it's like they had just kind of gotten back together. I know they've been together probably back. They reconciled over a year ago when the season started. But you know, so I don't have to go through the whole thing. But I'm just saying, like, it forces the characters to actually have to evaluate. This is the role this person fills in my life. Because a lot of times we don't think about it very much. Like if you have a family group, if you have a friend group, one person is the jokester. One person is the person you call if you need something moved. And one person is the person you call if you need to borrow money. You don't really think about that. You have all these different pieces in your friend group. Each person fills a certain function. But you don't think about that until one of them is put in jeopardy. And so the writers, of course, spend a lot of time thinking, okay, this is how this person functions. This is this person's function in this person's life. And so on and so forth, right? You know, so I think that, you know, when done well, that's the purpose of this kind of shit. Like, we're not sitting here at the beginning of season 6 thinking, oh my God, Tony's going to die. Even if this shit was just dropping, I wouldn't believe it. You know, not even talking about from historical retrospect. So, it's more about, you know, what the characters learn about themselves and how they relate to each other. That's the purpose of this shit. When it's done well. So far, I think it's been done well. We'll see. You know, like I said, I'm keeping an open mind. If shit sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. I'm not here to suck Sopranos' dick. You know, I'm here to just tell the truth as I see it. All right, this shit's getting too long. Let's get into this. Always seems to be raining when they show these shots. The outside shots, man. Always. Of course, it's fitting because he's probably about to cry in the car. I know he's a weasel, and he pretty much kisses anybody's ass who's in power, but I still feel like he fucking cared about them.
Alpha big. My man? Who the fuck would take care of something?
See, this is making him think. It's also making him think about what would happen if it was them. You know, good shit.
Manager's unit down a flight.
Look at these guys. Paulie had his psycho face on. When you see that face from Paulie, you better run. Yeah, not good, man. They're about to get all the Benjamins. God damn, man, that dude catches a bullet anyway. Hey, Paulie should have been thinking about what was going to happen to him, because here it goes. Oh, god damn. Paulie could go full psycho now.
My fucking balls. Come on in.
Yeah, fuck my balls. I don't need to stroke my balls. Just get the goddamn money.
Who God's here? Come on, let's blow. Not a fucking noise be made. Fuck that.
You gonna walk away from all this money? Fuck that, man. I'm in with him. Trying to get some cold for his nuts. Jesus. Oh, there you go. Nice. They've got wrapped it up like fucking Ozarks, man.
You were at South Mountain Arena yesterday?
So?
Trying to buy a gun from that asshole in the snack shop?
Shit.
Who told you that?
Word got back.
I know how you feel, but you can't do this. I can't believe you know this. Who told you this?
I can't believe you know. I can't believe it either, man.
Just laying in there shot up, I'll be thinking the same thing.
They totally get where he's coming from.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Listen to me, I'm your uncle. AJ's in federal law.
I'll see you, AJ.
No one's getting to him there.
Well, it's difficult, but not impossible.
Hey,
Trust
he's
me,
ready to go,
your
man.
Dad does not want you to get involved.
Yeah. Who gives a shit what you think, Chrissy? Get the fuck off him, asshole. He's fucking irritated, so I wish he would have hit Chrissy. Motherfucker snitched. They went straight to kiss Chrissy snitching.
They're on rounds of something, Dr. Plepler and the Indian girl.
Right, so they're making a display out of him? What the fuck?
Hey,
Circus.
did you bring me my sweater?
Of course he did.
Sweater?
Jesus.
And Jesus, fuck!
Motherfucker never remembers anything, man.
It comes down, we're a long way from home. But he's really fighting.
Meanwhile, in this fucking coma space, he's just basically fucking around. Chilling out in the hotel room and shit.
Really strong.
That is true.
Yep, that's what I was saying. That's how AJ sees him. That's the first, second, and third thing he thinks about his dad is strength. Which is why he's like trying to get a gun and bust the cap in the motherfucker. Because he thinks that's what Tony would have done at his age, you know. Here we go. Coma space. I'm into it. Haters gonna hate, man, but I like it so far. People are telling me that the voice he uses in the coma space is his real voice. Which, that means that what we've been hearing for the fucking first 5 seasons was bullshit. Like, he was putting that on. That's amazing, man. That's incredible. I thought it was the other way around. It's easier to fake a voice for 5 scenes than it is for 5 seasons. Oh, shit. That's right, motherfucker.
Monastery?
He's living somebody else's life and getting all their fucking problems. A lot of metaphors there.
Ah.
Yeah, hit him again.
Because you see, yesterday,
Yes, tell us. There's no fraud without a fairy tale.
yesterday I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, they can believe you, man.
Came here because I thought you could help me reach Finnerty.
This is his real voice. That just
Now I
blows
have
me
his
away, man.
wallet.
Like I said, how much fighting is he really doing for survival when he's actually just chilling in a monastery talking about lawsuits with some monks? I don't know. Man, fuck Janice. Coming in here and trying to make this shit about you.
Stay.
What's she doing, getting ice cream?
Carmela? Okay, I'm running around crazy here. My son was supposed to get coffee and tell
Yeah,
me.
your son's worthless. Don't ever ask him to do anything again.
If you or anyone needs anything to talk or to run into,
Find a friend, because I'm not here for you.
I have plenty of people around I can talk to. Of course.
Still afraid of therapy, aren't you, Camilla? I mean, she could use some therapy. She had one session.
You guys we know, huh?
Total bloodbath. Somebody said 1 million plus
Jesus.
on the score.
Paul, he better give you a taste.
Bill?
Springtime.
Why does this feel like
Oh, it's out of control.
the bathroom that Big Pussy was in?
I'm so
It reminds me of that. Remember when he was like trying to put on the wire and he came out and beat up his woman? It feels like that bathroom.
You have such strength in crisis. Benny told me he feels honored to drive you. You're firm about what you want without being obnoxious about it. Sil?
Now this is giving me vibes, and of course this came first. I'm not saying it didn't. Early season 2 of Battlestar Galactica when Adama had been shot and was in the hospital. And the hell's his second command's name? Ty? Colonel Ty? Colonel Ty and his woman was trying to talk him into like taking the power. Feels like that's what's happening here too.
Stepping up to the big seat. Not Tony. Me.
Really?
Really?
You want a shot at the crown,
Yeah,
motherfucker?
I never saw myself.
I think he likes being a number 2. I take it back what I was saying.
Vice.
He likes. That's actually the position I would want to be in too. I wouldn't want to be the number 1. I would want to be the number 2. The trusted advisor, the person who executes the orders, steps in every now and then when the big cheese is off out of town doing some shit. But if I was in this kind of organization, I'd much rather be the number 2 than be the king. Everybody's trying to take a shot at the king. Basically, you have most of the power with none of the responsibility. You gonna give him a taste? Look at him, he's still fucked up. Man, that must have been quite the nut shot. Usually, I've had fights, I've been kicked in the nuts. Usually recover by the next day,
Something like my cut? You believe this guy? He should have lost some weight in that nose. Keep it out of everybody's business. No more get on.
Greedy motherfucker.
Junior ruled on it, and it wasn't right then.
So now you're gonna try to change it up now? Junior ruled on him, motherfucker.
Must be
This fucking guy.
What do we do here, Sil?
That's right. He don't want this job. I was completely wrong about it. He don't want this shit.
What, Skip? Loans for the time being.
Yes, Sil.
Why, you speak Norwegian? Well, now. Let's see how much is there.
He can't make those decisions, man. Just split the baby in half, goddammit. Yeah, I was wrong. He's not cut out for this. And he don't want it. It's really smart to know when you're not cut out for something. Most people don't. They call it the Peter principle. You get promoted. You're good at your job, so you get promoted. You're good at that job, so you get promoted. Eventually, you're going to get promoted one step too high, and then you're bad at it, but then you stay there because they're not going to demote you back to where you're best, Like, say you're best being a lieutenant in the military, right? But then they promote you to a general, Well, you're a shitty general. You're an excellent fucking lieutenant. You're the best lieutenant in the military. You're a shitty general. They call it the Peter principle. Because as long as you're great at what you do, you're going to keep getting promoted. Sooner or later, you get promoted one step too high when you shouldn't have been. The smart people realize this is where I'm best. If I was to go any higher, I would suck. So they refuse a promotion. The smart people. Sil is one of the smart people, apparently.
That I am Kevin Finnerty?
Oh, shit. Interesting.
All right, I'll stop.
He really is having a crisis of fucking identity inside here. That's the whole point of all these dreams, man. I wonder if he's going to come out of this a changed man. It'd be very interesting to see the difference between Tony post this and Tony pre this. I mean, they're doing a lot of real estate, film screen time, devoting to this, Look at you hiding that fucking pizza behind a newspaper so you can smuggle it in here. I did that shit. I mean, it's probably okay, but, you know, you still feel like you need to hide the shit when you're trying to go into the hospital room, man. It's just a thing. I love that they had that tiny detail. Can we cut before we see him drop his pants? Jesus.